Under the bright lights, cue the music, and welcome the new face of the Kentucky GOP.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. What a great night.
Kentucky's newest sensation has gone from father and eye doctor,
and they're our neighbors, and we carpool with them,
to national sensation overnight.
So we see her texting. Who are you texting?
Some friends
and
back in Nashville, that they won up here.
But the real story isn't about tempo, it's about momentum.
We've come to take our government back. And what I say to Washington is, watch out, here we come.
Does it kind of feel like you're guarding a celebrity today?
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
Unless we say that you want government that will protect your freedoms, but not government that gives you something for free or gives you something for nothing, then we can get back to what the Constitution meant and what it intended in the beginning. I hope you'll fight on with us till November, and I thank you very much for coming out tonight. Let's have a party!
Pictures of local celebrities are all over Teresa's restaurant in Bowling Green. The most recent not yet on the wall, but in the paper.
I was surprised by the majority that Senator Paul, or I guess he's going to be called Senator Paul, won by.
Rand Paul held his first campaign event here.
I think he's well qualified.
Drop tone, please.
But those most impressed are the ones who know him best.
He always had a mind of his own, and he wasn't easily led.
His mother, Carol Paul, tells us even as a kid he was smart and confident with strong opinions.
No, I mean, I think you simplify it too much to try to get a simple definition of things.
He played football too, but the coach kept saying, you know, he's the toughest one I've got out there. Is he going to grow any taller?
All politicians limited by terms.
Traits his wife, Kelly, fell in love with.
We actually met at a backyard oyster roast. It was sort of an outdoor afternoon party, and I was there with someone I was actually dating at the time, but my boyfriend left for a while, and during that time I started talking to Rand, and I thought he was cute and very smart and interesting, and that's kind of the rest is history.
The campaign becoming a family affair, his three sons knowing their father and his ideas pretty well.
I have a message from the Tea Party. We've come
to take our government back.
He starts every speech with that, and then it's a little different every time.
Which is something that runs in the family when your father, Representative Ron Paul, is a former presidential candidate. As for his mother, well, we hear they always know best.
I mean, I just said, well, if you do something wrong, it's on the front page of the paper tomorrow.
Or if you're a Tea Party candidate who just won Kentucky's primary. Now, after a debate at the University of Louisville, Republican Rand Paul refused to shake hands with Democratic challenger Jack Conway for a TV ad questioning his faith, saying his opponent has, quote, descended into the gutter. It all started with this ad.
A hoax that was banned for mocking Christianity and Christ.
Asking why there are so many questions about Rand Paul. In their first meeting after it aired, Paul didn't waste any time and demanded an apology in his opening statement.
You know, Jack, you know how do we tell when you're lying? It's when your lips are moving, okay? You're accusing me of crimes. Do you know nothing about the process? You're going to stand over there and accuse me of a crime for 30 years ago from some anonymous source? How ridiculous are you? You embarrass this race.
The ad is based on reports from an anonymous woman who said Paul tied her up in college and told her to pray to Aqua Buddha.
Why did he join a group that was known for mocking Christianity and Christ? Why did he join it? It's apparent from Mr. Green in today's paper that he joined it, that they reveled in sacrilege, and values matter.
How do you respond to a guy who's going to quote somebody anonymously from 30 years ago that's untrue? You just out and out lie because you have nothing to stand on. run a race as a man. Stand up and be a man instead of just calling me names.
Okay.
Paul refused to shake Conway's hand and walked off the stage. Afterwards, we caught up with both briefly.
As he went by, I said, it's your decision not to shake, and I turned to him and he walked right by.
We got to issues, but I'd just rather him change the tenor of the debate. He needs to grow up.
And just minutes after the debate ended, the Paul campaign responded with an ad of their own.
What kind of shameful politician would sink this low to bear false witness against another man just to win an election? This one would. Jack Conway.
Yep, and we've been covering a lot of their debates, and this is by far the nastiest one yet. And the latest Rasmussen poll has Paul leading by double digits with a little more than 2 weeks to go. Because some people have called this so violent, they've also called it shocking, and it will not air until after 10 o'clock at night. That's because the sponsor says they don't want children to see it.
It's the most shocking ad I've seen this election cycle, and one of the more shocking that I have seen in quite a long time.
The ad is virtually silent for the 57 seconds that it runs. Only the faint yelling from the event.
You're continually going back to the violent image. And I guess the implication being that see what Rand Paul supporters are like.
We watched this ad with IU Southeast political science professor Joe Wirt, who said this ad could be confusing to viewers.
The person who was being stomped on had a Rand Paul sign, and I think that can just kind of a danger of they're sending either mixed messages or a confusing message there.
This video was captured just before the candidates' last debate at the KET studios in Lexington. The woman on the ground is Lauren Valley with the liberal group MoveOn.org. She apparently tried to get to Paul as he was getting out of the car, but one of Paul's volunteers got to her first. You can see where he grabbed Valley and stomped her on the head. The Paul campaign has since banned that volunteer from their events. And we caught up with Kentucky senior Senator Republican Mitch McConnell today, who was in town, but he didn't have much to say about the incident.
I think plenty has been written and said about that.
The ad is paid for by the Kentucky Democratic Party, not Conway's campaign. But will it affect voters' decisions at the polls?
I don't think it will help. I think if anything, it may hurt him. The viewer's attention is shifted towards the violence that is going on and away from the real message.